FBI releases the first 911 document after Biden order. 20 years on, a manpower reflects on 911 and the war on terror. Washington, D.C. CNN. The Federal Bureau of Investigation on Saturday released the first of what is expected to be several documents related to each investigation of the 911 terrorist attacks and suspected Saudi government support for the hijackers following an executive order by President Joe Biden. The newly declassified document, which is from 2016, provides the details of the FBI's works to investigate the alleged logistical support that the Saudi consular officer and the suspected Saudi intelligence agent in Los Angeles provided to at least two of the men who hijacked the planes on September 11, 2001. The document released on the 20th anniversary of the deadly attacks still contains significant redactions. It details multiple connections and witness testimony that prompted the FBI's suspicion of the Omar al-Bayoumi, who was purportedly a Saudi student in Los Angeles, but whom the FBI suspected to be a Saudi intelligence agent. The FBI document describes him as deeply involved in providing travel assistance, lodging, and financing to help the two hijackers. The Saudi embassy in Washington, D.C. previously said Wednesday that it welcomes the release of the FBI document and that any allegation that Saudi Arabia is complicit in the September 11th attacks is categorically false. Biden's executive order came after more than 1,600 people affected by the attacks sent Biden a letter asking him to refrain from going to Ground Zero in New York City to mark the 20th anniversary unless he released the information. The letter in part questioned the role of Saudi Arabia, suggesting that members of Saudi Arabian government had been involved in supporting the attacks. Shortly after the letter, the Department of Justice announced it would review what previously withheld information or documents related to the September 11, 2001 attacks it can disclose to the public. The Justice Department spokesperson said in August that the government advises the Manhattan Federal Court that the FBI had recently closed the investigation related to the certain September 11th hijackers. Although this development followed the U.S. District Court rulings upholding the government's privilege assertions, the FBI has decided to review its prior privilege assertions to identify additional information appropriate for disclosure. The FBI will disclose such information on the rolling basis as expeditiously as possible, the spokesperson said. Biden praises the DOJ's decision at the time, saying it followed through on his campaign promise to have the department work on releasing 911 records and doubled down on his commitment to the families of victims of the September 11 attacks. This story has been updated with additional information. CNN's Kate Sullivan contributed to this report.